Even, the guys that are really high level black belts, I feel like having enough ego that you can show up on the mats and think you're the best and have the history of being one of these Sean Williams types of guys, but also having a white belt mentality of it's like a very interesting dichotomy of like huge ego to get in there and go after that and like step into these rooms, but also enough humbleness and humility to be open to say like I'm always learning stuff. And that was like one of the biggest things for me too. And this is again why you're my guy. I didn't even know this, but it's one of my number one pet peeves I talk about whenever I teach real estate is there's no way I know everything. Like, and I get
Yeah.
confident answers every single day from people that have no idea what they're talking about. And dude, the stat that I give is I go, the number one thing people trust is doctors. And the number three killer in the entire United States is medical misdiagnosis, and people never question it. The number three
That's
killer is
true.
doctors getting it wrong, but they go, they're a doctor, but it's because the doctor doesn't want to say, I don't know, or I'll go figure it out, or they go, nope, take this pill, do this, do that. And I'm like, dude, like I catch lawyers making mistakes. I'm like, I'm not that smart. Why do like take a second, ask somebody? But you go to guys like Matt Serra, and I remember I had some footage of some privates and stuff, and I was like, dude, you probably don't want to see this, but I feel like I should ask you, but I feel stupid asking you. And he was like, man, send it. He's like, I don't know everything. I would love to see if there's something new I can pick up. He's like, my kids are training now, some hot shit off the favelas in Brazil. He's like, show me, dude. I always want to see it. And I was like, wow. Like, but that was a very eye-opening thing to see somebody you look up to being like, dude, I always want to learn. Always send me the thing. Like that's
Yeah,
so
that's
much more
that's
respectable, you know?
absolutely. I think you make a great point there. It's funny, but I've never met Matt. I've always wanted to meet Matt, but I know that Sean has gone down there and he does a seminar, I think probably every year or so. And but Sean talks about Matt and when they came up and how him and John would
Yeah.
train with Matt, and he would just say Matt was absolutely brutal and he would just absolutely maul us. And I'm thinking like, wow, this guy, and he shows some of Matt's stuff, and the thought there is like, well, Matt would just beat the shit out of, Matt beat, torch Sean. Why would Matt have Sean go down? Why would he do that? Because Matt realizes he doesn't know everything, and maybe Sean brings something to the table that Matt may not use, or some of his guys will use, and I think that's good to have that humbleness, and realize that you don't know everything is smart. I will say I for sure don't know everything about music, not even close, or drums, or jujitsu, definitely not. I know a little bit, and I have some great coaches, and try to stay as humble as I can about that stuff. Obviously, I think it's like leave your ego at the door. I don't know that that's necessarily the call. Like you got to have some. Just don't be an arrogant prick either. I don't know how many times you were saying in real estate where you're teaching, and there's just know-it-alls. You get those on the mats too. And that's okay. I think that's okay. It's just, some people just don't fucking get that, and not everybody's willing and able to take those sort of criticisms and whatnot. So yeah, man.
Yeah,